Hello guys, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Nice. Yes, I can. Roel, how are you?
Goedenavond, man. Ik denk dat
Goedenavond.
we... Even kijken. Hugo kan Nederlands. Rick is Spa... Ja, nee, we moeten het eigenlijk in het Engels gaan doen, denk ik.
Which is a good thing because my English, so to say, like to explain some of these things that we're going over, English is just gonna be easier for me as well. So let's indeed do it in English. And if there's any question, if I have to slow things down or whatever, yeah, feel free to give a shout, and we can take it a little bit slower and repeat some of the stuff. Um, yeah, shall we start with some introduction, or what is the best way to start?
I'm fine with everything. I'm just glad so many people showed up, or at least a couple of people showed up, so there's interest in your product. So I think we're all anxious to hear how your algorithm works. I know Python bots are very complicated to build from scratch, so I'm really curious to hear your story, and yeah, let's just go with it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm late.
Hey Rick, thanks for noting. No worries, man. I'm very thankful that you guys joined indeed, because it's very, like, the hardest part about this project has been to reach people, which I never expected at the beginning when starting this project. I'll give you guys a little background about myself. I've been into crypto mining since 2015. Mined my first Ethereum at $1 when basically it was just a website promising a lot of stuff. And slowly in 2017-18, when the boom market hit, I expanded my crypto mining in the Netherlands a lot, and got myself into a lot of overhead. And I saw the price crash to $3,000, and had to panic sell my mining operation because my overheads in Europe were just way too high. Uh, Throughout this time, I've been always looking into trading. I was one of the first people to write a tutorial. Uh, yes, Nif, we have started. Yeah, sorry. I I wrote a tutorial about, or a guide about, how to do leverage trading on BitMEX when it just released, and since then I've been really diving into the cryptocurrency trading market. Me read those comments for a second. If any in the voice chat want to ask questions but don't want to use them, yeah, that's a good one. And feel free to interrupt me as well. I can go on about stories a little bit long, so yeah, no worries there. So after the mining, I focused on trading, because I noted that trading is a lot easier than mining is, because for mining you need a lot of hardware. The hardware you'd have to import it from Asia, and electricity here is 12 cent per kilowatt hour, the cheapest version, and in China they pay 1 cent for the most expensive version, so to compare. So if it comes to competing in mining with something like China or the USA, it's going to be really hard. So I decided to stop mining, and I partnered up with Haas Online. Maybe some of you guys have. Maybe you need to give permission to Discord to use the mic and speaker. Sorry, I get distracted a little bit. So. I quit mining and focused on trading. I had an old friend that I met on Bitcoin Wednesday, which is a meetup in the Netherlands that happened throughout the early stage of crypto, and all the crypto heads came together and discussed their ideas. One of the guys was Stefan from Haas Online, which was at the time the biggest cryptocurrency trading bot, and I partnered up with him, and I created a trading algorithm. Is there a screen share? Yes. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I forgot all about that. I created a trading algorithm with Haas Online. Here is my screen share. I will go over that in a second. I created a trading algorithm with Haas Online, and it's up to this day. It's their most popular trading bot. It's called the Smart Market Making bot, and it was an algorithm that I created with them, but the reason I stopped believing in other trading software is because they're really slow. So if you're gonna do high frequency trading, some of their software takes about 1 or 2 minutes before putting an exit order, right? So if you have a certain grid or whatever, and an order gets filled, some of their software takes 1 or 2 minutes to notify that the order is filled and place a counter order. This is way too slow for cryptocurrency markets and high frequency trading in general. It was nice to play around with some of the bots that are available for the retail market, but they're all like focused on automating your trading view indicators, for example, and that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's tailored for the crypto markets, and that's how I started finding developers for my own trading software. I believe in AI, machine learning, and things like this. And with my old partnerships, people didn't believe in machine learning for trading. People didn't believe in AI for trading. They were kind of stubborn and a little bit old-fashioned. They didn't want to dive into this new and to me exciting field. So I decided to do this myself. I found developers that have a background in AI, machine learning, data science, and biomedics, and a full stack developer. We teamed up and we've been building this software over the last 2 years. We've built it from the ground up in the back of our minds that we want to implement machine learning and artificial intelligence at some point into our software. We currently have already done trials with genetic algorithms, which I'll be going over in a little bit as well. And it was awesome. And I'm gonna show you guys some of the things that we've done trials with, and makes me so excited as I am over our software. Um, what you see here is a Bybit account, and this has been a bot that I was running last night, basically as a trial and test. And you guys can see that there is a realized profit of like $6 and unrealized P&L of 14 bucks currently. But what I wanted to show you guys mainly is that if you go to orders and you go to your trade history, the fascinating part about this is that you will see very low contract sizes. $2, $21, $55. Here you see $650, but that's a funding. Funding is paid every 8 hours, and in this situation we got paid funding. And here we got paid funding again. And these are all limit orders, so every time we're getting paid as a fee. So our trading is free. Double click Zec. Where do I find it? Yeah, so our trading is done for free. Um, Rule, I think from what I saw, you were into the normal grid bots, right?
I had my mic muted. Yeah, it's one of the things that I'm exploring at the moment.
Okay, so a normal grid basically places limit orders above and below the price, right?
Yes,
It's nothing more complex than that, basically.
true.
And what we already did years ago is say that instead of having a static gap between these orders, you could have an increment. So every time you go to the next grid, the price difference between them grows with a certain increment. Right? So you can make those grids a little bit more complex and modify them a little bit. What we have done is we made every particle of this grid smart, so we give it a little brain. And I'll try to explain to you guys how that looks. And I'm already running a small backtest to show you guys some more of the stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit complex and a lot of information. But as I said, feel free to ask questions whenever you want, and using the software is a lot less complex than understanding everything. But I always like to tell people exactly what we're doing, because I think that helps people to understand that it's not just marketing gimmick that we say machine learning or genetic algorithm or whatever. We're actually doing that stuff. So let's go over one of these rows here. We call every single row here an agent. Okay, this agent has an entry ID short one, so his name is short one, or her name, whatever you want to call it. And because it doesn't have a dot extension, it means that we call it a parent. Okay, so this is a parent, and short six is also a parent, but the difference between short 1 and short 6 is that short 6 has offspring, so it has children, which is this part right here. So this is the parent short 6. These are the children short 6.1 until short 6.9. What does that mean? Well, that basically means that the children 6 point whatever, they are only allowed to start trading when their parent short 6 is in a trade. So it has entered a trade. And short 6 has its own grandchildren. And these are only allowed to trade. 6.10 is also part of this children rakes, and 6.9 has its own grandchildren, 6.9 until 6.9.6. Okay, so basically you can set restrictions that certain parts of your populations are only allowed to trade when another part of your population has entered a trade. Well, why would we do this? Simple. Um, Let's say we're using our indicator as our signal for entries. This indicator, it looks very much like an RSI, but it's basically a relative strength index and a volume, a money flow index, as they call it. As you guys might be familiar with, a relative strength index basically is an oscillator that takes the price difference or the price movements in the last candles and formulates an oscillator. The money flow index is basically the same thing, but it does it for volume, so traded volume. It takes the traded volume for the last candles and creates this into an oscillator from 0 to 100. What we did is we combined the RSI and the MFI so that we have an oscillator that takes into account volume and price movements. Why would we want to do that? Well, if we take MFI and we take RSI, then we see that at some points there is a clear difference between them. Let's take this point, 7th of July, 340. So 20 to 4. What we can see is that the MFI, the green line here, has hit a value of 63, but the RSI didn't come above 47. What does that mean? That means that the price in this situation around this area didn't go up as much as people were buying it. And what is that hinting to us? It's hinting distribution. Okay, so you have accumulation and you have distribution. When people are actually buying with the market orders, so they're actually buying into the market because they're expecting this to go up, but the price isn't reacting, that means that someone is stopping the price from going up. That means that someone is putting in limit orders. So you have the order book, right, guys? You have the order book, and every time someone does a market buy or market sell, it's tracked as volume. But if someone puts in a limit order into the order book, it's not tracked as volume. So that's why you see some kind of divergence forming between these two. Price isn't reacting, people are buying, someone sold here, right? And you can see that also pretty nicely in the candles itself, where it's kind of flattening out right here at around the 36.1k. There's basically a big seller that's not allowing the price to move above this, and that's seen in these two indicators. So that's just something about our proprietary indicator and why we've chosen for it. And together or combined, it looks something like this. So to come back to the point, why do we have parent agents and why do we have children agents? For example, let's say that we're trying to sell above this dotted line. So and whenever we become overbought, we want to start a population that's going to sell into this. Um, well, you could have a scenario where basically we just overshoot this dotted line and go all the way to the 97 or something, right? You kind of want some confirmation. So you want the price to actually go back a little bit and then you want to step in. So it's basically some form of confirmation that you're looking for, that price is actually reversing in your direction. Otherwise, you're basically jumping in front of a train. Right? You don't want to do that. You want to have some confirmation, and that's why we have the parents. What do the parents do in this template that I've created? The parents basically do a trailing entry. This isn't looking like these parents are, but the idea with the parents is that they're going to signal a good location to start trading. Let me take one that has a good example of this. 1 second. bear, long, bull. Okay, so in this scenario, we have a parent called bull1. If we look at the let's take bull 3 by the way. If we look at the settings of bull 3, we can see what it's trying to do. It's trying to buy whenever our indicator is below 27 because buys are allowed. Waar is in Dutch means allowed and or true, I have to say. And prevent exits and prevent entries are also set to true. This might look a little bit complex, but it's not that complex actually. It's just a lot of numbers and settings. Um, but this parent is allowed to buy below 27. What that basically means is as soon as this indicator goes below 27, which is, for example, to take the most recent scenario here, it goes to 14. So here we would be triggered to enter the market. Let me indicate that. Okay, so here we would have a trigger for this particular parent that we're looking into right now, which is Bull 3. And Bull 3 has a trailing entry of $42. That means that as soon as this indicator has triggered Bull 3 to do something, it's not going to just randomly enter when price is just doing something like this, which is just a big wick down. We're going to wait for the first price reversal of 42 bucks, and that's where we're going to enter with Bull 3. Pool 3 is only going to buy $3 worth of Bitcoin, but it did this in a price that's low, right? This is a local low. It's not the top that you're trying to enter. It's actually a local low. And by indicating this local low and doing a market order of 3 contracts, Bull 3 is releasing its children, which is Bull 3.1 to 3.16, to start putting in limit orders. So that's where the action is going to start. The parent, to put it into like a storyline, the parent has indicated its children that this is a low, in price, and now they can start doing limit orders in and out. And what that will look like on your screen is just I can probably show some of the for example, this is a bar chart that you'll get on your user interface showcasing you every agent within your population, and it shows you the realized P&L, unrealized P&L, stuff like this. But we also have a user interface like this, and it will show you where the agents opened the trade and closed a trade, and some other information. If you hover your mouse over these completed trades, it will give you a score, because what our system does is it takes all these agents and as soon as they complete a trade, it will send a piece of information that contains the market condition and the statistics of that particular agent. So how long did it take to make how much profit and how much drawdown did we have? And we'll go a little bit more into detail about that in the backtester that I'm going to show. Up to now, guys, is there any questions or things that I went over a little bit too quickly, maybe?
On what time frame does it pick its trade? It was on 4 minutes now, but
Yeah,
what is the trigger?
the triggers are all on the 1 minute.
Okay.
So we train our populations on 1 second tick data that we scrape from exchanges ourselves, because it's not available anywhere in like large quantities. So what we do is we scrape Bybit 24/7 for price data, and then the most accurate price data that we can get, because we're trying to do high frequency trading. And for example, if I this is the 4 minute chart, as you said, but if I look at it from a 30-second or a 15-second, there is just a lot more detail in what's happening. And if you do high frequency trading, these small ticks up and down are actually worth something. I understand that for a manual trader, they don't even want to get into this lower time frame, but for a high frequency software, it's really critical that we train and signal on really low time frames and very rapidly. Because our biggest edge comes from the fact that we're trading 24/7 and using limit orders. So it's important to create and generate a lot of volume.
One more question. because it's getting triggered below the 20 marker or above the 80 marker, if I'm correct.
Sorry.
You were saying that the input has to be below, like bull 3 has the value of 27
Mhm.
before it can buy. So you have to wait till that gets triggered before you can before the bot does anything. So
Yeah,
um,
exactly. But all those values, so here comes a little bit more of a complex story. All these values, you can see them as chromosomes in a DNA string. And every part of this, you can see it as like a characteristics of a certain trader. And what we do is we can pair these agents with each other into a genetic algorithm and they can create children. But what you're asking for is like, does it have to trigger before anything happens? Yes, but you can create multiple parents with different trigger points. So in this example, you see that the first parent, bull1, is already triggered at 41. The
yes,
second one is 33 and then 27. Yeah.
and these triggers you provide for the user. So when somebody uses your bot, these triggers are filled in by you, or does the user has to fill them in?
Yeah, so we provide the bot with 5 tables. These tables have been trained on 1 second data. So you'll get a bot that has these tables, bear, bull, long UI. Ignore these two, by the way, it's 5 of them. So bear, bull, long UI, short UI, and sideways. We're going to start some of them in a second, and you guys can have a look at what they do. But yes, you'll get them provided with including a lot more tables that, for example, users make and share within the group or whatever. But besides receiving them, you can open them in a Google Docs and you can modify them to your liking. So if you want to increase the amounts that are being traded, you can do that. Decrease it, you can do that. Change the triggers, you can do that. So anything is yeah, adjustable to your liking. And of course, I understand that you first need to try it out and get some experience before you can even think about changing anything. But yeah, everything is changeable, so to say.
Okay, but you also, let's say you provide, because there are also newcomers that don't understand the triggers, they just buy the product and want to hit press and trade, trade, trade,
Mhm.
trade for me. There's also just a standard setting that you send with the bot, so everybody can just click trade, and then if they want, they can adjust for the
Yeah,
more experienced users.
yeah. So that's the sideways table. The sideways table is basically trained on a lot of data, and it was nearly beating every price situation. The only time that it made a loss, or at least was in a losing position, was when we dropped from 56k to 30k in no time. That it didn't do that well. You really needed to start a bear bot or a short UI in addition. So what you can do is you can run multiple populations. So let's say a new user joins and he has zero experience with anything. He would be running a sideways table, and as soon as his exposure becomes too big, or we are at some local top or bottom, he can just add in a long UI, short UI, bull or bear to its sideways spot, so that he can just leave the sideways spot running, and then add other bots to the population on the go, and this way kind of manages his account to keep exposure low or high or whatever.
Interesting, interesting, very interesting.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was hoping to hear that, and I'm pretty confident as well. I have to be honest about that because I've been looking through every trading software for the last years, and I know that no one is really taking up approach that we're taking. And if they are, then they're probably not sharing it, and it's not a public company or anything. Um, Another thing about these triggers is there is also, so this is RSI oversold, and as you guys know, we are not using the actual RSI, but a different version, and this is RSI overbought. And if you set prevent exits on true, that means that if you're bought below 27, you can only start placing an exit above 55. So this way you can have a dynamic exit target, because if we bought here, we would only start placing an exit here, right? So that we at least make this move up, right?
Yes.
because otherwise it will be pretty static and it will just be based on like a risk to reward of 1 to 3 or something. That's not really what you want, because as we saw in the example that I showed before, sometimes the oscillator doesn't go up or goes up a lot, but price doesn't go up, and then you can actually see that there is some distribution happening, and yeah, you just can't stick with those same exit targets as you had before. So if you take this situation, for example, yes, you bought at a nice low, but you here at the purple EMA, you're already seeing that the price doesn't want to go above, while the TRS or the RSI already is topping out somewhat, and that really shows you that there is not that much room to go up more. So yeah, anyway, that's just a side side story, I guess. Um, so yeah, this was a bot I've been running yesterday night until this morning. I'm going to close the position, I'm going to close the trades, and I'm just going to start some bots just to have some fun with it. And I'm going to try to run active bots so that we can see some stuff happening on this call. And in the meantime, you guys are free to ask questions again. So I started the bot by basically clicking on run Windows, which will start up two Python commands. And it will pop up a browser window, which will be your user interface, and you'll have two buttons to start and pause populations. And we have to wait a little bit for this to load, and we also have to give this a little bit of time because it's adding all the populations, and some of the populations exist out of 230 agents, so it takes a little bit of time for these to load, like 1 minute or something. The next thing I wanted to show you guys was this thing here. So what we do is we share all our data with our users as well. Um, So what that means is that we are creating a tool that allows our users to look into our database full of agents, so they can see which agent had received which score in which trend conditions, and then they can pick their own agents to copy into their own populations. This is all kind of like prior to us going to a genetic algorithm, where the DNA of agents that performed well are going to be paired with other well-performing agents to create a good offspring. Um, so we're sharing a lot of data as well with our users so that they can see what is working for other users. Zach, can you give some indication of the hardware VPS setup that's required for this bot to run optimally? It's mentioned on the website, but not in detail. Yeah, I agree that we don't mention that in too much detail. A Windows PC would be the best solution. I don't think the specification have to be that good. It's not using that much. What can I say about that? Yeah, a decent, not too old Windows PC is what what would be the best. If it comes to a VPS, yeah, we can provide you with one. You can take a medium one. I wouldn't take the lowest specifications for the VPS, just to give yourself some nice experience when using a VPS. But yeah, it's I don't have too much details on that. It's working on everyone's PC so far. If it's a Windows PC, Mac systems have some issues at times, but if you have like a laptop or whatever, it will work. And if that's an issue, we can of course help you with setting up a VPS, because we can also create a VPS in our server and host you on there. Can you give some indication? Oh, that I read that question already. The bot has started up, and as we can see, it is all bots are ready to go. So we could start doing something. Let's just for experiment purposes start a long UI, which is basically going to tell our trading bot that it should ignore or it should go get into a long as soon as possible. So pretty much directly. Of course, this is yeah, a more manual way of using the bot. So this is something you could do when we reach a low or reach a high and you want to trade, but you don't want to do a manual trade, but you want the bot to handle it. Well, all you have to do is click the long UI population, click on start, and the bot will basically start trading. Um, and of course, this is not a good time to start a short table, but let's start one just so you guys can see what happens if orders get filled and how fast our system reacts to orders getting filled. Here you can see what it's doing. So now it's starting shortbot UI, and now we see the orders coming in again. And now the price has to move.
Yeah, come on, Bitcoin.
It never does it when you want it to.
Yeah, I'll move. What are the grid sizes when they open it? It's like 0.0% or something.
Between the grids, you mean?
Yeah.
It's more so based on dollar values. It's not a percentage.
Okay, okay,
And you can basically decide it for yourself. And my values come basically from backtesting and crypto's volatility throughout the last months. So yeah, from the backtest, it showed me how far I should reach before an actual top or bottom comes in, depending on volatility. So our tables are just covering a lot of price area, a high price area, just to make sure that we're always trading. And even if we're in a bad position for a little bit, it will work its way out of it just by continuously trading. So you might end up being like in a losing long position, but the bot will keep opening new trades, so that will realize some of the losses to your account. But at the same time, every trade that the system completes is a profitable trade. So we don't allow negative trades to happen only if you set up a stop loss. So every agent has a stop loss function, and you can fill that in as well. But if it doesn't have a stop loss, it will always go for the exit target that the user has defined. Unless the exit timeout hits. Exit timeout is basically a time in minutes that you give every agent to complete its trade. So some of the agents you could, for example, give a lower exit timeout, that like I have done here, because their spread that they're trying to get is very tiny. So then you only give them, for example, in this scenario, 44 minutes to close a profitable trade. And if it doesn't manage to close in profits, then it will place its exit at break even. So it will still not take a loss, but it will take a break even trade, and it will do both things using limit orders. So you'll end up with a profit. Are the values in the standard tables updated as the market develops? So it might look different in the years from now. Yes, we're everything that we're doing is being upgraded every day. So our goal is really to create a profitable trading software for ourselves mainly, and take users with us to generate data basically about the market and to help each other. But we're always updating. Our software will keep evolving, and I create new tables basically every week, depending on market conditions. I also share a lot of TA. People that join our trading bots group will also get guidance in which person I follow for technical analysis with a lot of experience, because I think there's just too many people saying that they know how technical analysis works, and I fell for 90% of them. So I don't want people that join the trading software. I don't want them to make the same mistake as I did. If I can help them and guide them to the right way, it will help us as well, because every time a trade completes using our software, it will be tracked onto a server, and this server will be our database for machine learning. So if all our users suck at trading, sorry for my language, but they're just bad traders, then our server will be full of bad data, and our machine learning will be a bad trader. So that's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming to make everyone that joins us a good trader and generate good data, so that the machine learning will be a good trader as well. So yeah, there is some incentive for us to make sure that everyone that's using our software is profitable, basically.
Yes. But you can also, let's take, for example, the strategy that I shared that I'm using for like 2, 3 years now on the daily chart. with the long and short being printed. Uh, when a short gets printed, I can just tell the bots if I'm now when I have the short bot running or the bear, how you call it, the text files that you just started.
The populations or tables, yeah.
Yeah, so when it's got a short signal for me, then I just activate that.
So
That also works.
how many signals do you get, let's say a day or a week?
On the daily, I only trade on the daily charts,
Hmm.
so I get like a signal each 10, 15 days.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, we could help you and create parents. So just like the bull parents, we could create parents that are triggered upon your own indicator. But that will be then we really have to do that only for you, and that's kind of not the route we want to go. So instead, I would say to anyone that has its own triggers or its own TA, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing my own technical analysis, and then I'm starting and stopping agent populations. So that's also
Okay.
what you can do if you have a certain signal, like okay, now we're getting bearish. All you have to do is go to the bear table, which you can modify to your liking if it comes to contract sizes, etc., even stop losses, and you just press run. And if you have, for example, a support level that you're expecting to be hit, you can say that the active above prices for the parents are 36K. So for example, these are parents that are looking to sell to short, so it's short UI. What you can do is tell the parents that they can only be triggered above 36K, right? So then if the parents are triggered, the children can come in, but this can only happen above a price of 36K. And you can do the same thing for your long UI and say that they can only be activated below a price of 34K, for example. So now you set your own range. You have a population waiting above 36K to short the market, and you have a population of agents waiting to buy the market below 34K. Both of them trained on 1 second data, so they're really good at buying the dip or whatever, which you can also see from 1 second. From our results, like, where was it? Test results, maybe. Yeah, this one, for example, this guy just did his own TA yesterday and he found out, hey, we're going up. And what he did is start a bull table, so a table that just buys the dip basically. And well, this is what you get. And the funny part about this is sometimes we're completely wrong. So we start a bear table while the price only goes up. And guess what? We profit. Why? Because we close a lot of profitable trades while the price is going against us. A good example of this is, for example, this back test that we did on 1 second data. This is when the price went from 32K to 40K, which is a huge move percentage wise, right? Within a couple days this happened, and we back tested our sideways table on this price data. Sideways is meant to be profitable when price goes sideways, right? And even in a very bullish trend, the sideways table ended up with a profit. Why? Because it just managed to close a lot of profitable trades while it was being wrong. And we have more examples of this happening in, let me see. Oh yeah, here. For example, this population can only short the market. Well, this doesn't look like the most bearish scenario to me, but it did end up with a profit. Here we're
It's a
actually
profit.
we're actually going up. So I would call this a sideways ranging choppy market, or maybe even slightly uptrending market, whatever. It's not that bearish, but the agent population only shorting manages to end up with a profit.
Okay.
And the only factor that you have to weigh in is the maximum cumulative drawdown. So at some point you will be in a loss, right? Because the price is just going against you. So you do have to be aware that and I think Rule, you also explained this to your followers and users. that you do have to be aware that with grid trading and mean reversion, you have these periods that you're in a slightly negative position, right? You have to just yeah, either have a very clear stop loss invalidation in mind where you're going to get out, or you have to be patiently sitting through this because, in my opinion, from my experience, almost no trade is 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 perfect, right? It's not like okay, I shorted, oh, it goes down right away. That's normally not how it goes. It just looks a little bit scary, so you have this so you have to have this invalidation point or whatever in your mind. So yeah, that's the only thing that I can say. Like this is what you have to be careful for. The bot will trade, bot will close profitable trades all day, every day, but you will have some drawdown at some point, and yeah, that's what you should be covering for basically.
Okay. So one more question. I'm not sure if you answered Hugo's question already. The one with are the values and the standard tables updated as the market develops, so it might look different in a year from now. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see that. Okay. Uh, well, I'm not sure how. Wait. Let me see how I do this. Give me a second.
Oh, look, guys, this is pretty funny. We just had this dirty little wick on the 1 minute chart. And of course, we managed to short it with our grid bot because, yeah, it was just ready to get into those dirty wicks. And maybe we already finished. Yeah, we finished some trades already, so I can show you guys how it looks like when a trade is completed. We have two shorts that have occurred here. Short 6.2 and short 6. So I told you guys that short 6 is a parent and short 6 has a lot of children and grandchildren. One of its children, 6.2, has also completed a trade here. It's shorted and it has a score of 626, so a pretty nice score. And the other has a score of 574. We just see another trade finishing and it's agent short 6.3 with a score of 1000. So this is the best performing. Why is this the best performing trade? Well, it shorted at the highest price, so it had the most minimal drawdown, so it risked very little, and it closed the lowest. So we track certain statistics to come up with a score for your agents. This is, let me see, this is the backtester. Where's the backtester? Did I close it? I think I closed it. All right, I will open up the backtester again. Zach, why not just have all 5 bots or at least running to cover for all scenarios? Well, the thing is you're going to overexpose. So what if the market starts pumping up in one big candle? Then you have a bear table that's going to short. You have short UI that's going to short. You have the sideways table that's going to short. So you have 3 out of 5 tables going to short, and you have your bull and your long UI basically not being able to get into a trade because price is only going up. And if price only goes to one direction, it will be hard for us to find an entry. So yeah, that that's the reason I start off with sideways. So I basically start up getting my feet wet in the market and just seeing where the market wants to go. And as soon as I see that I can improve it or give the bot some bias, I start another table. And or for example, if we get out of the trading range and I don't like how much activity the bot has in trading orders, I will just start another bot at that point, for example. Because like our tables have 200 and like these are pretty small tables. They have 122 agents, but the sideways table has like 260 agents trading. So yeah, at all times you'll see your user interface look as crowded as this. And now we flipped into a long, by the way. So a short of 13 contract flipped into a long, and
See the position open? The open position. Oh, it just opened.
yeah, it just now it opened and it flipped the short into a long. And as we can
Uh,
see it here as well. And here you can see as soon as some of the trades complete, you can see the stats of your agents. Let's see, we have long UI. You can see the entering time, but currently the profits are not that high, so you don't see any values here, but they will come soon. And you can see here how much unrealized and realized P&L they have, what your open orders like or are like. in the order book. You can see that here. So it's not the best user interface, I would say, but it does the job, I guess.
Yeah. It's, I still got a question. I'm sorry. Because I really stick to one trading strategy that's on the daily. It's also on my YouTube. It's very easy to read. So if I just paste it screenshot, and if you just look at the screenshot, this is on a daily. I don't want to change the values from TES. I just want when I get a long printed, for example, I got the cloud, that's the ATR cloud with a calculation in it. Uh, I would put my invalidation in the bot in TES. I would fill that in because sometimes the market turns against you. But you can also just use like this, right? So if I get my own trading strategy and just follow it,
Yeah,
and let the bot use for bear, bull, sideways. If I read my, if I let's say if I got a short signal, I would activate
the bear table.
the bear when I got my take profit. That's the end of the green cloud on that candle. Then I would enter sideways, and when I get a new green one, I go long.
Exactly, but you still would have to press these buttons yourself at the right time. So we don't have it automated that it can read your trading view signals. So you would really have to look at your own chart and then choose the population that you want to trade with.
Yeah, but it's a daily channel, so I got all the time in the world to adjust it when I want.
Exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
asked you like how many signals do you get? Because if it's like a 1 minute strategy, then we would have to
Yeah.
find a way to automate it because it's gonna be really annoying to do something like that. But yeah, if it's a daily strategy, well, definitely this will work because I'm doing the same thing. As you guys can see, I have my own technical analysis, and I don't think well, I just think it's the best way to do your own technical analysis if it comes to money and making or losing so much money. It's just important enough for me to take some time and do technical analysis and make sure that everything goes to plan.
Yeah, we got Nif for that.
I hate black boxes that you just put in money and hope for the best, right? You need to know what's happening. That's for me the most important thing with this bot. For example, you see what you're doing, like you see your position, you see your orders, and you can actually adjust every little detail to your liking, to your taste, to your risk appetite, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And it's on. You said it's on multiple platforms or just
We currently have only Bybit, but the next exchange that we will be adding is FTX, and this will allow us to use the bot on stocks as well. So that's going to be amazing in my opinion. And I think if we have FTX added, we don't really need that many other crypto exchanges because FTX has basically all the shit coins, and they're always focused on getting the best DeFi shit coins on their platform. And Bybit is the best leverage slash derivative exchange that I can find because they never have downtime, so they don't screw you over by going offline at the most critical moments, which other exchanges they love to do that. Even BitMEX always has done that over the last years. Bybit has never done that, so that's the reason that we are currently only with Bybit, but we're adding FTX soon.
and I don't know if anybody else got any questions because not sure if everybody gets it. I knew it when you typed it. You're a Python programmer. I knew it was going to be complicated because we're not going to see the code, but the whole high frequency trading, it's one of my things that I like to watch on YouTube as well for the documentaries, etc. I'm reading the books about it. It's what the big boys do.
Yeah, now, well, formerly we didn't have any access to all of this, right? Because the old brokerages and the stock the stock exchanges, well, retail didn't really trade there, and if they did, it was some rich doctor, and he lost all his money, and then it was done. And now this current age, retail has just so much more power in trading and investing, and we have so much more accessibility of information. So yeah, it really changed in that sense that I think in crypto there is just some retail guys, retail nerds behind their computer that are really doing a lot in this market and really making this market move more than some of the hedge funds are able to do at the moment. So yeah, slowly it's going more towards empowerment of the retail, and that's also my hope and my goal for this. That we can indeed empower the retail to be somewhat more successful in investing and trading.
Yep, indeed. So, just a small recap. This is a fully automatic uh, algo trading bot, with the exception that you have multiple settings that you can adjust to the market, and it works best if you do your own technical analysis to give a little bit of a direction where you want to go with the bot. So it's not just click and set and forget. Uh, You need to maintain it a little bit.
Yes, I would say so. If I compare it to first of all, great summary. I think yeah, I agree with all the points. But if I compared it to a normal grid, then in a normal grid, people would tell you, yeah, you just put it on and then leave the computer, you'll be fine, right? That's kind of what they try to sell it as. If a normal grid is that easy, then this one is even easier. You just put on the sideways table and it will outperform any grid because it's smarter than a grid, but does um, approximately the same thing. So if
Okay.
if a grid is passive, then this is even more passive and better. But I personally, from my experience, a grid is definitely not passive, and you still need to manage it because the market is just too volatile in most scenarios, especially if you're going to use leverage, then a grid is very dangerous even.
Yes. That's one of the reasons why I also started sharing some videos, because people really have the wrong conception of what a grid bot is and what it does. So, but this is really interesting. But I saw Nif has a question as well. I think it's gonna.
How do we make profit for really small trades if there are also trading views? Is the software take this into account? Yeah. So Nif, maybe you missed this part, but our let's take this big green candle here as an example. This candle happened on the 1 minute, and it went up by 0.66% or $242. In a normal grid, when this candle happened, there could be all kinds of orders filling within this candle. In our grid, the candle will finish. Then on the first retracement of $42, one of the parents will get activated and we will start selling the top instead of selling the middle range. That's what sets us apart. We're a little bit smarter than a normal grid because a normal grid just way too static for a volatile market like crypto. But after the parent did an entry, our children are going to do limit orders. So
Hôm
Nif,
qua mẹ
to
ra bữa đi
clarify,
quay vịt mẹ thấy nó đỏ nó hồng
um,
hào bây giờ sao cái mặt cái môi nó sao lại có lấy vậy ta.
Kim, could you maybe mute your microphone? Sorry.
Giờ lại đi.
Um, our trades are happening on limit, so we are getting paid to trade. We are getting paid 0.025% for every trade that we take. So we're not paying fees. Funny, funny thing about this, sorry, Kim, could you please mute your microphone?
Oh,
Mấy
I
người phân phối
muted it
tới
for
cái thùng
myself.
cái đâu mà
Okay,
Muted. Oh,
I muted Kim. Yeah.
okay.
Sorry for that. So a quick comparison on a old-fashioned stock exchange where you can trade stocks, you would pay, for example, 0.1% in fees. So 0.1% fee. On Bybit, we have a rebate of minus 0. Or let's say 0.025% and a fee of 0.075%. Okay, so if a stock exchange would allow me to do a 100x leverage trade and I had $100 on this account, I would pay 100 times 0.1% is 10%. Right, guys? This means that upon opening a 100x leverage trade on whatever stock, I already lost 10% of my margin. So I already lost $10 just for opening this position. If I do this on Bybit and I have $100 and I open a 100x trade, 100x, $100, it will be 100 times 0.025% is 2.5%, but I'm not paying this, I'm getting this from them. Because a rebate is what we get from the exchange for doing limit orders, for creating liquidity. This is the big difference. So on other exchanges, you would lose 10% of your $100 just for opening the position, even if the price didn't change. With our software, you will get 2.5% for a 100x leverage trade. So you're already started with $2.50 in profit just for opening the trade. So if you close the trade at the same exact price that you opened using again a limit order, you're up 5% for opening and closing at the same exact price. But if you use a market order, you will have a loss, just like with a regular exchange, a little bit less. It's $7.50 and 7.5% of your $100. So when someone does a market order, he pays 0.05 to the exchange and 0.025 to the person who has a limit order in. A limit order, guys, just to clarify, is an order that's in the order book and it's not executed directly. So if I want to, okay, just to make it very, very clear what I mean here, the price is currently 35,548. If I want to sell directly, I will sell to this guy, 35,534. Okay, I can do that. Market 10%, $100, sell, confirm, and then I can see my filled orders that I sold 100 contracts at 35,534 using a market execution. And this cost me 0.075%, which we can also see in the order history. If we go here and we go to trade history, it will say that I sold 100 contracts and I fees paid were 212 satoshis. But if we go to the trade below that, which was made by the bot, we have a minus before this fees paid. So we received 14 satoshis, we received 5 satoshis, we received 9 satoshis, etc., etc. So we are receiving fees except for when we do a market order. And a market order are normally only done by the parents for $1 so that there's basically no fees because we're trading so little. And then the children will do limit orders so that we receive fees again. And if you're smart enough, you also cover yourself for this funding. Every 8 hours, shorts pay longs or longs pay shorts. And if you're smart, you're going to get paid every 8 hours to be in a certain position. So in this case, if you were short, you were going to get paid funding, and we got 180 satoshis just for being short.
In the bot, or do you do that manually?
No, we do that in the bot. So this is just the bot that has accumulated a short position, and then every 8 hours the Bybit exchange pays you, or
Yeah.
you have to pay. So yeah, if you what I like to
I
say
think.
basically is that if you trade Bitcoin, you're already exposed to the volatility of Bitcoin's price. So on this exchange, I hold Bitcoin, right? And if Bitcoin goes down in price, you're already losing. So it will be harder for you to pay your P&L. So the safest way, in my opinion, is to, if you really want to be a safe trader and not have a lot of exposure, but just do market making in the smartest way, you are safer by being a little bit short exposed than being long exposed. Because when you have Bitcoins on the exchange, then that's your collateral and you're already exposed to to a long on Bitcoin, because if the price goes up, your collateral value goes up. You're able to pay more losses. But if Bitcoin goes down, then now you have also less dollars to pay your losses with. If that makes sense.
Uh, yeah, yeah. My question was, I saw your balance at the Bybit. Is the total balance being played, or can you allocate a
Um,
portion, or just?
this is currently a testnet account, so I am on testnet.bybit.com. It looks like the actual exchange, but it's just for me to showcase things and test things out. So it's not actual money on this exchange. But Bybit allows you to create sub accounts. So if you deposit, for example, zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, you can divide this over multiple sub accounts and set up a bot on one of the sub accounts to trade only that portion of your balance.
Another question. What is the minimum amount that people need to get at least some profits from the monthly fees that you're gonna pay towards you guys? What?
I would say that the lowest amount I would advise anyone to start with is maybe 200 euros. It's already very low to start with for trading, but it will do the job if you can somewhat manually manage the bot. Like if you're totally wrong on everything you do, so you basically start shorting the bottom and longing the top, then yeah, you might lose your $200. But if you do decently well, you can definitely have 200 euros profits at the end of the month. And I know that sounds crazy, but we have leverage, right? So you could, with $200 on your account, you can take a position of $2,000
Yeah,
because
okay.
that's only a
So
10x leverage.
yeah, but how is the boss delivered without any leverage?
Sorry.
When you activate the bot, do you need to manually adjust the leverage, or is it standalone no leverage, or at 100 leverage?
There is within the configuration of the bot, you basically fill in if you want to have it trade on cross leverage or you want to have an isolated leverage position. You can also set some safeties. Basically, if you set the bot to cross and we have something called the stop trigger, which is basically a safety that tells the bot that if we go above X leverage, then the bot will stop trading. So it will remove the orders. And in the case that we have right now, so we have a short position open. Let's say our stop trigger would trigger right now, then it would remove all the shorts, but it will still keep the longs in here because the longs will make us will decrease our exposure. So it would only remove all the shorts from here so that you don't increase a position. So there is some safeties to summarize that long story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is with a grid bot, like let's say you start a grid bot with a range of 20k to 40k, the top grid, then when the orders are gonna get spread out in the order book, so you're never gonna get your entire exposure. That's only when it runs out of the grid. Like if you got a long grid running and it's gonna drop below 20k, then your all capital is in the coin, if I'm correct, right? That's the same with this one, or not? The
Um,
positions get built up the longer you're in a position, right? You start off with a
uh,
small contract, then it's gonna build up more and more and more.
Not per se, because that's what I did just now. Because I use the long UI and short UI, which are basically manual ways to use our bot. Um, that's I just did that for so that the example would be quicker and we would see a lot of activity right away. But normally the bot will only have orders opening at certain trigger points. So what you were saying is that you basically lose a lot of your margin because the bot is spreading a lot of orders around, and that yeah, that's not the case with our bot per se, because our bot will you can set it to activate only at a low and only at a high and not just randomly spread orders all the way throughout the order book like a normal grid would do.
Yeah.
So
And the fun part about what most intriguing about this whole algorithm bot is that you can use your own trading strategy if you got a full trading strategy. That you can just let this bot do it work in the high time frame trading, and that's really intriguing. That you can just use your regular, like let's say you're a TA trader,
yeah.
that you can just adjust your trading strategy on test with a long or bullish or bear or sideways. And that's really awesome. It's not really beginner friendly, if I'm correct, because
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with both points you're making there. I personally am a technical analyst and trade based on technical, yeah, chart patterns and price action. So I find it
yeah,
really, really critical and important that we're able to do that, because like some price areas in crypto are just not really nice to trade. Like here I have a support zone and I could have set up a bull population to be activated only here and not in the middle somewhere where there is just no need for me to take any position. So that's yeah, I very much agree with that point that it's critical to be able to really direct your population of agents into the price area that you want them to be activated in. And yeah, it's critical for me. I share a lot of technical analysis. Anyone who joins, I will definitely try my very hardest to guide you towards a profitable trading um, or yeah profession or experience by sharing you the right content that I've gathered over the last years. So it's to me it's very critical that people start slowly understanding that what technical analysis is and what the high opportunity trades are like. Um, Besides that, our system can be used within the range as well. So you don't really have to wait for the best scenarios. You can start a sideways spot just whenever you want, and it will kind of figure its way throughout the market by completing the trades 24/7 and just adding some satoshis to your balance slowly. And like in my opinion, most of our profits comes from the volatility of crypto and the emotional traders that are playing this market. It's 24/7 market, so you have a lot of fear and greed because everyone wants to have own a little bit of Bitcoin. So they jump into the leverage exchanges without any trading background and just make the stupidest decisions with a lot of money, and that's where you get all the volatility from, because in my opinion price moves because of trapped traders, so to say, so locked in the range analysis, that price moves based on people that lose money in a zero sum game.
Yeah, the thing that yeah you're basing it off your own technical analysis. It's awesome because it's really it works for a lot of people. I'm really sticking to my own strategy all the time. It's like 3 years now that I'm using it. Never even draw a line on my charts anymore. Uh, and that's why I also wanted to go into the Algo bot because my life is sometimes hectic and I can't sit on the screen. And I traded everything from the scalping in the 1 minute to 5 minute to 50 minutes, an hour, and I ended up with the daily charts. So if I would use this bot, I would really want to use my own strategy and see how it works. It's all indicator based, but it's really intriguing that you have your own inputs. Think it's a little bit daunting for really newcomers because the newcomers that I see and encounter in various Discord channels, they just scare the shit out of me because they just blindly open something or get a trading bot at Hummingbot or another bot and they just, oh yeah, this is a bot that has to be profitable because I see green numbers. That really scares me.
Yeah.
That's what, that's also one of the reasons, but I gotta say this the whole explanation, also what Hugo just said in the chat, it's a really solid presentation. There's the children and grandchildren story is really easy to yeah to know what you're talking about. About the pricing, can I ask questions there?
Sure,
Because
of course.
you now have an old website, you say?
Uh,
You get,
yeah, we're working with a team to because I find it over the last years I always had to explain this story, and as you guys notice, it takes some time. Even if I want to do it quickly, it just takes some time to explain this because it is pretty complex. Um, um, just to clarify something up, I've built the software to empower retail and not only professional traders, but we have in our group, we have some guys that are, for example, 60 years old and they work as a doctor, but they want a passive income and they're using the software successfully. And they were also trying to trade crypto before that manually and losing money left, right, and center. And then they found this system and it's patient. It has all the things that we as humans lose money through, like emotions and greed and stuff. It doesn't have that, and it doesn't make a mistake, so to say, like a typing mistake or whatever. So I think it's very doable for anyone, even a starter, to start with this. Of course, there is just some time you have to put in to understand the software. I want to thank you for your compliment, like saying that it's understandable, but because that's also something that I've been having in the back of my mind as a vision. Like everything we do has to be understandable. We're not going to do something that we say, hey, this is AI or this is machine learning, but we can't really explain you guys what is happening. That's not the route we want to go. We just want to have a very straightforward system that works off of simple logic. Um, and if it comes to the pricing, yeah, you can ask whatever question.
Yeah, because it's a license, so you can also reject it, right? It's like a 1 year license, I see. And what else? Oh, now I finally found your Discord invite. I was looking for it the entire time, but now I found it.
Yeah, it's not the best website. What I wanted to say is we have a team that's working on a 3D animation to so on our YouTube channel we'll have the bot trading 24/7, and then every like 15 or 30 minutes a 3D animated bot will come into your screen and it will start explaining what the bot can do and stuff like that. So we are working on some cool stuff, but it will take a little bit because it's an actual 3D animation and it's just gonna be some work.
Yes. And that's what a lot of people won't see, that when you create an algo, the coding behind this has been taking hours of your days.
Hours? Yeah, well,
Yeah,
um,
days, weeks, months. Yeah.
2 years ago we've started, and one of the developers, one of the co-founders, is from the United States. He's even traveled to the Netherlands to work with us, and we've been working on it for 2 years. So it's a little bit, yeah, it's a lot of time to put into it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I personally can't find anything cooler to work on. So that's what keeps me motivated to just strive for this goal and just give it my all, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really awesome. For me myself, I created a YouTube channel after I'm getting really annoyed. I know I don't need to be annoyed by it, but it's so frustrating that people are just shouting and saying I'm gonna make 10% daily and I'm gonna compound it, and people just follow it blindly. And there are so many in a bull market, especially. Yeah, a lot of people come out of their caves and just scam people and try to make money. And I thought, yeah, let's just make a channel where everything is free and where I self test a lot of things out and just share it with the audience that is interested in watching. Uh, I'm gonna add this into my rotation because I'm really intrigued because I can use my own strategies a little bit and let the bot do his thing. So yeah, that's really yeah, I'm enthusiastic.
That's awesome to
Not
hear. That's awesome to hear, mainly because I know that you have some, or you have a lot of experience with grid systems and crypto trading bots. So hearing it from you is just a little bit more has a little bit more weight than hearing it from anyone else. So yeah, happy to hear that.
yeah, nice. In this village, well, we're both from the Netherlands, but I'm like down south all the way, Heerlen, Maastricht.
Ah,
Sittard, yeah.
I had my mining location in Eigelshoven. Maybe you know
Oh,
that.
Egerslov. Yeah, it's like 5 kilometers away from my
Oh
house
my
where I'm
God.
sitting
Okay.
now. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's really, really close by. And we also got some crypto meetings here. Uh, yeah, I'm really anxious to just get started with this and see how it works and share it with the audience, or especially the guys that are following me lately.
Do you have
And
a
this,
full-time job? Like, do you work on the daily?
yes, I also work
Okay, so
regular day job.
maybe what we can do is like plan another call after you're done with working, and then we can go over it a little bit more in detail, and I can set you up with a bot and yeah, go from there.
Yeah, I think I can just add. What I normally do is just free up $1,000 and then just jump in a bot, so other people don't have to at first, but
Hmm.
they can follow it and see the results and decide for themselves. And there are some people now, because if you look into the strategy that I'm using, some people really think it's like, oh man, that's like really basic stuff. But I also applied to a prop firm. I worked for a prop firm on a forex exchange. So I did my back testing. I did 9 months of forward testing, and I
Okay.
came out on top. Or on top, I qualified to. to trade with their money. But then the divorce happened in real life, so got me set back a little bit, and I'm back in the game. And things like this, you hear about it, but you don't see it. And that's also one of the best parts of crypto, is that the retail traders can get access to this, because the forex and everything is, yeah, the big institutions control everything there, and you can't make those stuff there. So that's really really awesome. I'm really
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I really hope that this is the reason that I, as a founder, came and joined your group to promote my own product, because I know that what we have built is just very, very valuable, but we don't have the funding that, like you said, that the big guys have to do promotions and marketing and just put it in everyone's face. So it's important for me to get some user base so that. Yeah, we just make our product mature, and it also helps me to get some funding to pay for more developers, because what I want to do is attract more young guys that have studied AI and machine learning. I already have some within the team that are like very, very talented in this space, and I really believe in machine learning and AI, and I want to grow the software, get users just to fund more, and to fund for a better software over time. And like I said in one of my videos, I believe that a software like this could really be healthy for Bitcoin, because instead of having all these emotional people looking at the price and making wrong decisions and losing their money to the big guys, we could actually set up a software that helps all of us to stabilize the crypto price by buying the dip and selling the top, instead of making emotional decisions. So in multiple ways, I think this could be beneficial indeed to retail, but it's really hard to yeah, to show people what you have built, and it's marketing is just another ball game that I'm not that good at. And yeah, it would be very helpful indeed if someone like yourself, that people value their opinions, would have a look at it, and yeah, maybe something cool comes from that, and we can definitely discuss more details about it.
yeah, of course. I know the marketing. My channel is still small, but I'm still surprised that each day I'm getting new followers, so something is going okay. Uh, but there is a lot of new folks in the. I also noted it in the real life crypto meetings that we have in the south here. That there are, each time there are newcomers, also joining in video calls or whatever, and they're clueless and they are throwing money at everything.
Yep.
And
Shiba Inu, for example.
yeah,
Who the
true.
heck buys that shit? Or SafeMoon? Come on, guys, come on.
Yeah, they just, yeah, they follow just a Twitter or a thumbnail from a YouTube, and they just buy it. It really
Yeah,
scares me because
yeah,
I also saw it with friends and they lost quite some money, and I thought, okay, man, just take your time, let you inform yourself, read about it, uh, just start easy and just
yeah.
work your way
I'm
up.
also having the same feeling. Like if people talk to me about Cardano, well, I know probably some of you guys like Cardano as well. But if you ask me, like, would you invest in Cardano? I would just straight up laugh at you, because Cardano is a dApp platform. So they try to do the same as Ethereum, but there is literally zero dApps on their platform being built. There is zero development going on, just zero value, and people just value that stuff just for the promise that they've been making for the last years. It's so silly to me, because they don't have an actual product. There is no value there. There's no one using the dApps on Cardano. Where is the value coming from? Why are you guys investing into this?
True. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons that I also decided to start a small community on Discord just to talk with everybody, and we're just sharing information, exploring the markets, talking about various coins, and this was a really interesting meeting, in my opinion. The others are all muted, but I think they're still here, so they think. I know Rick is also a very experienced trader. He's also has some skin in the game for a couple of years now. He's still here. I'm not sure if he's still listening in.
Is it a Dutch guy?
I thought it was a Dutch guy, but I saw him in another Discord channel and he was talking Spanish in the Spanish channel. So, oh, there
Before
he is.
I'm here.
That doesn't really sound Dutch, Rick. You're not Dutch.
Oh, I think it's from Spain. Spain or Mexico or Spanish
No,
country?
I'm from Chile. I'm from far away.
Hey, cool. I have another person in our bot group that's from Chile.
Really?
Didn't know that you guys were
Yeah.
so into cryptos, but yeah. Um,
Yeah, well, I think everybody's getting in crypto
very
today.
true. Are you an expat or you just born in Chile?
Oh, no, I'm Chilean. I was
Okay,
born here and I live here.
got you, got you.
But I think many people come from Forex and we all came here for the volatility. So,
Yeah. There's just much more to trade in crypto than there is in Forex.
yeah, and it's safer for me, I think without leverage, it's very safe to trade.
Yeah, it's like what I always see Forex as. I hate Forex. I don't want to trade it. I don't want to touch stocks because to me that's old money, right? That's just all the money that they're printing is going into stuff like that, and I don't want to play that game with them because they they're just going to win from me, right? Because they have
Yeah,
all the power in that market. And crypto is exciting to me because it's new. It gives everyone a fair chance to make something out of nothing. And
yeah, and we are on an early stage, so we have a lot to grow.
exactly, like now you have the first corporations entering, but soon I heard the first news this week that there you will have the first countries entering, and then
Yeah,
we're going
yeah,
from
it was El
trillions to
Salvador,
yeah.
and I heard also today I heard Paraguay. Also, he said that he's going to adopt Bitcoin as a legal currency.
That's amazing, man, because I understand that the bigger countries are definitely going to follow, but they just can't do it right now because they have just so much more things that they should worry about before announcing something like that. Because if you announce that, then you're basically destroying your political currency slash fiat currency, right?
Yeah,
So
I think that here in Latin America, there are many countries that are so poor and they don't have money, and their coin, uh, his value is nothing. Like
yeah,
Argentina, like
Venezuela,
Venezuela,
yeah.
so they have to find a way. And Ecuador, they are working with the US dollar, for example. They don't use his coin like since, I don't know, 20 years ago. And yeah, they need to evolve and adapt to new things. And yeah, I think the,
100%.
the future, of course, is the cryptocurrencies. Actually, today, who use the paper bill? Nobody.
Yeah, it's all
Uh,
within the bank account online, and
yeah, we are using cards, debit, credit cards, and
yeah,
tomorrow, who knows?
and,
We'll use a
this
QR and pay with BTC.
yeah, and like people talk about banks as if they can get hacked, and it's all so safe because a bank is managing it. But that's complete bullshit in my opinion, because what I'm seeing is that banks are getting like destroyed by hackers and scammers, and like that old
Yeah,
system is just so old that it's just falling apart in front of our eyes. And that's a funny thing to see, that like they're trying to save it in all ways possible just by printing more money. just but
yeah.
there is just a hole in this basket,
They,
and it's draining and it draining and draining, and it's going to be empty
they
very
are
very soon.
printing money like I don't know, like sick people.
Ah,
And yeah, I remember here like 2 years ago, some Chinese people hacked a big bank here and took like $20 million. So yeah, what's the safety of the banks? Nothing.
no, because if they would be safe, they would have encrypted. They would encrypt their data, right? And Bitcoin is all about that, right? So we have the
Yeah,
most secure system already, and people should just understand that part. That this is the most secure database that we're able to create at the moment. That's the technology driving this,
yeah.
cutting out the
Uh,
middleman, and it's so important. But I'm just so shocked that a lot of people are not seeing it, not
Yeah, and
understanding it.
and the most important thing as an investor is inflation. Inflation in I don't know, in the U.S., in the United States, like a 3% a year. So you are losing a 3% a year just holding your US dollars.
They don't understand it.
So
I don't know how, but
yeah,
they
they
don't see
yeah
it.
yeah they
like
don't see that you're losing money every day,
yeah,
and
I think Roel can confirm. In the Netherlands, we had the currency called the gulden, and then at some point, like you could buy a full bread for 1 gulden, but then they introduced the euro without letting us have any say in that. They just introduced it, and here you go, you have the euro. So they demanded us to go to the bank and exchange our gulden to the euro, and for every 1 gulden, we got back like whatever 1 euro or something. But in the same time, they kept the price of a bread at no, for every 2 guldens we got €1 approximately, but they kept the price of a bread at €1. So basically, a bread became 2 times more expensive just by us doing that exchange from gulden to euro, and no one seemed to have noticed. So
Yeah,
we just our bread
that's
just doubled in price, and no one even seemed to care.
yeah, because many people still think that they will find a gem to make 100x or something like that, 1000x, and that's
Yeah,
impossible.
it's crazy
That's
how
it. That's Elon games only.
I guess so. I guess Elon can do that with Dogecoin to the moon, but
Yeah, yeah. Actually, we are making like 100% a year, and wow, that's crazy.
yeah.
I was aiming to make a 15% a year. I was happy with that, but nowadays with crypto,
Yeah, you can definitely make a lot more, and that's why I
yeah,
never like to give, like, people always like to ask me, hey, you have a trading bot? Okay, what do you earn per month? What is the rate you're gonna earn per month?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you
Actually,
can't really
daily,
say
they
that.
are asking like daily. Do you make
Yeah.
a 2 or 3% daily? It's like no, of course not.
Well,
There's a drawdown.
yeah, you can definitely make it, and 100%, I'm very, very sure of that. But it all depends on how much risk are you willing to take, and how good are you at trading and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's just very complex question to answer, especially with our software being as like, you can adjust anything and you can use it in many different ways. So it's very hard to say, okay, this software earns you this or that per month. The only
Yeah,
thing I can say is it makes you a better trader because you're learning patience. You'll be able to trade 24/7 instead of a couple hours a day. Those are the benefits that you're getting, and to me, it always makes 100% sense to use trading software instead of manually trading, because I noticed that I made the same mistakes as a human multiple times. So I would do something
yeah,
stupid in trading because it was like 3 a.m. in the night and I was tired and I made a stupid mistake. But 1 week later, I'm doing the same thing again at 3 a.m. in the night. I'm making the same emotional stupid mistake. So,
yeah.
and a system won't do
Exactly.
that. It learns.
The human being is the only animal who makes the same mistakes twice and 3 times and 4 times. It's the only animal. The human being.
Well,
We can make
they
the
say
same
donkeys.
mistakes.
They say donkeys do the same thing, so we can compare
Yeah.
ourselves with donkeys if it comes to that.
Even donkeys learn the first time, but we don't. we, uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that these things gives out a lot of stress with trading with a bot.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
you don't have to care about it. I just look at the charts once a day when the day closes and just watch the candles.
yeah, and just
And normally
starts.
I don't do anything. Normally it's everything fine.
Yeah, and like, two things there. Like, most of the times, if you're a trader, 80% of the time you're just staring at a chart. You're not even making a trade. And that's what a bot is really good at. It won't stop doing trades, so it's always just trying to complete a trade. I stopped the tables, by the way, just for your information. But the bot will always keep opening and closing trades, and we're gonna get paid for that and make small profits. So that's really the difference. And if you're trading as a human, you will probably take way too big contract sizes and position sizes, just because you want to value your time at some value, right? So if I would take a long here and in 2 hours I would be up $1, I would be like, it's not worth my time, right? So I'm going to increase my position, maybe earn $100, and that's the danger about it. And a system, you can value its time at basically zero, and even if it makes $1 in 3 hours of trading, it's fine, because, well, it doesn't cost me anything, and it doesn't keep me from living my life, basically, and glued me to the screen.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's why I try trade it only on the daily. Then you can manually trade and just have a live next to it.
Yeah.
But the trading bots already took over the stock and the forward markets like 10, 15, 20 years ago. And now they're more available to the retail traders. So I'm really intrigued also by the AI. A friend of mine also is a Python writer, but then he does it for a company that he owns himself, but not concerning trading. But the whole part is still in there. Uh, yeah, it's really intriguing that the AI and also the trading bots that are now available to us, the regular guys. So yeah, really fun to see. But can't wait to get my hands on the bot and see how it works
For
in real
sure.
life.
I think we have called for a while now, and we should end it wrap it up now if possible. By the way, I see that there is like 8 viewers on YouTube. I don't know if you guys mind that I was streaming this to people.
Oh no,
Okay.
no.
I normally don't have any viewers, but this time there were 8 people interested in watching this, so it's
Then which YouTube are you on? Because I'm on the Genesis
Gen
Algo.
our we have a YouTube channel that we do technical analysis on. We've been doing that for the last two years, I think, and it's called BigBangCrypto. I will send you a link in stream in the chat. Do you mind if I send it in chit chat or want to?
Oh, it's just sounded and chat. Okay.
Yeah. So I have this channel together with Sam, a German technical analyst that has been doing it for years, and he's basically really dived into the Bitcoin's history, and he knows like every bull market and bear market, how they went, and what we have to pay attention to. So we try to also focus on Bitcoin's history and use that to predict some of its future, because I think that's the only thing we have, right? The history of price that should give us some hints to what's to come. The rest is all guessing and in using indicators and stuff. But yeah, I think the history is the main point to look at.
Oh, okay, wait. Just need to subscribe and then yes, now I did. Okay, so you got 2 channels in total. But you're also using it already on the live or only on testnet?
Yeah, we're using it live. I use testnet because I'm basically 90% of the day I'm still working on improving the system. And for example, things like the safeties, like stop trading trigger or kill emergency trigger. If I had to do that on the mainnet, it will cost me money every time to test those functions. So that's why I'm the only person basically using the testnet. But to give you guys an example. This is from the last 2 days of trading, and we have 5 users online on the live net, and they have done 2,173 completed trades, so for 4.2, 4.3K completed orders within 2 days.
Okay.
And we also can check out like this. We can see which agents they used and which agents that they used performed best. So for example, we can see here agent dip 3.2 is the name. It had a score, an average score of 1,373, and it had yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, exactly. And it has 19 completed trades. So then you know that it was not just a one-hit wonder, but it did a very nice average score over 19 trades. So this is a very good agent. So you'd have to find out what its parent is doing, and then you can know what how to use this in multiple tables, or yeah, you can find out like what the stats are here and copy it basically. And this is something we're also building out for you guys, so it should come out within a month. And way different in user interface, so it will look pretty, and you'll have actual trend indications, so bearish, bullish, and etc., instead of the zeros and ones as binaries. So we're also creating this for you guys so that you can go into our database and basically look for the trend that you're expecting. So if you're looking for a bearish trend, you can find the agents that have received the best score in this condition.
Okay. Yeah, the depth of your company, or at least the algorithm that you're providing and the service beside it, is really impressive. Normally, it's really naked for a lot of things. Just
Yeah.
you just say, "Hey, pay me this money and press play, and we're gonna make you money." And people
Yeah.
are like, "Yeah, we're gonna make money," and they don't have any influence on it. For the
No.
beginners, that's not a bad thing, but here you got a lot more in depth, so people can just adjust their own strategy. Because if I'm gonna use it, it's gonna use on my own strategy and just look at the results, how it performs. But I'm really confident in my own strategy. Let's say that
Yeah,
up
no,
front.
I agree with you on that one because all the bots that I've tried to use, I found out that none of them actually work. They basically, what they can do is automate your trading view indicator. That's what most bots are able to do, but nothing besides that that's special or makes a difference. And what they're really, really good at, 90% of the trading bots that are offered online at the moment to retail, what they're really good at is marketing. They just look really cool and fancy and profitable. Their website is most of the times awesome, and they know how to reach out to you and stuff like that. That's what they're really good at, in my opinion.
Yeah, I need some shout outs from YouTubers or from Twitter. If they got a following, they could have an extra impact on the publicity, free
Yeah,
publicity at times.
yep, yep, very true. Um, all right. Is there any other questions from the other guys? I see that there is still Kim Trader and Nif, Rensine, and Rick in here. Do you guys have anything that you want to look over again or have a question?
Seems not.
I
Oh,
th
oh, never typing.
Oh,
I'm
fine,
fine.
thanks. All right, perfect. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks, Rule, for being here. It's yeah, I'm very thankful that you wanted to take the time to look over this. I understand that promotions is not really what you're looking for in your Discord, but I am very happy that I was able to show you guys what we've built, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys using our software in the future, and we can help each other out. Yeah, thanks for your attention. If there's any questions, you guys can always send me a private message and yeah, reach out to me.
I think I speak for everything here, everybody here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the really nice explanation of the bot. Yeah, I did say I don't want to promote promotions, but I also said that we're really interested to learn that because it's all about learning and developing more skills, etc. This was a really nice addition to this. So thank you for joining us, channel, and giving us your time to explain it. We will keep in touch for sure because I'm really interested in using it myself, and I will also just spread the news and the results in this channel with the guys and on my YouTube channel. But yeah, let's stay in touch and thank you for now. So
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the compliment, and you're very welcome. I enjoyed explaining it and showing you guys what we've built. And yeah, I'm happy that you, as a spokesperson, want to give it a shot. And let's stay in touch on that. And I'm sure we can make something work. And have a great rest of your night.